I am a killer who never hesitates to act. That day, I was driving alone on the road. Suddenly, a boy darted in front of my car. Instinctively, I swerved the wheel, but the car lost control and veered into a dangerous area. I wasn't fatally injured, but the situation was still bad. The passing truck stopped.
Can you open that door?
Yeah, I can try.
And the driver pulled me out of the car. As he pulled out his phone, I could tell he was about to call the police. I took a deep breath, ready to pull out my gun and deal with the situation. Just then, a loud crash came from behind. I instantly realized that I couldn't stay here any longer. I glanced at the truck and then looked into the distance. The boy and his mother were on the phone, clearly having already called the police. I let go of the thought of killing. I didn't want to kill for no reason anymore. I only took the driver's car keys. Not long ago, I had just finished my last job. I had promised my wife that I would quit this life and start over. This truck was too conspicuous. The police would quickly trace the license plate. I drove the truck to an abandoned mine. Then, I began erasing any evidence of myself. I made a simple disguise to cover the bloodstains. I swallowed some painkillers to stay alert. Next, I set the truck on fire, pushing it into the mine to completely destroy it. A few hours later, I found a couple traveling in an RV. I put on my wedding ring to look like an ordinary person. I told them I had severe hypertension and that my situation was critical. I begged them to take me to the hospital. I didn't suspect a thing. As we drove, I pulled out my gun.
We're gonna head to the Montenegro border.
The what?
The Montenegro border is about 79 minutes away.
Seeing the gun, they had no choice but to obey my orders and keep driving. I made them head toward the border. Soon, the sound of police sirens began to rise. The police were checking all outgoing vehicles. I knew I wouldn't be able to leave today. I opened the map and told them to reroute into the mountains. The car finally stopped in a remote forest. After the car stopped, the elderly man suggested getting out for a smoke.
Is it alright if I go out for a smoke?
What?
While chatting, I told them that they reminded me of my parents. They seemed like good people. The old man gave me a close smile. At that moment, I started to reflect on my life. Back in the car, I told them to rest while I stood by the door. Just as I took off my coat, the old lady grabbed a fruit knife and lunged at me. Her action enraged me completely. The old man immediately rushed toward me, desperately trying to grab my gun. Before he fell, he looked at his wife one last time. I truly didn't want to kill anymore, but the situation had already spiraled out of control. I cleaned up the scene. Then I called my wife, Nuria. I told her I had finished my last job. From now on, the three of us would never be separated again. She heard the problem in my voice, but said nothing. She began making plans for herself and the child, determined not to let danger come near them. The next day, I drained gas from the RV. I wrapped a can in aluminum foil and put it in the microwave, setting the timer. After the explosion happens, all traces of me will be completely erased.